Today I'm going to be taking you on Europe's best overnight train from Vienna in Austria all the way to Milan in Italy. For this amazing 12-hour trip, I'll be riding in a private deluxe suite with shower as we travel by night between two of Europe's most famous cities. I'll even show you the included goodies and top-rated breakfast service, so join me as I show you what it's like on board Europe's greatest sleeper train.
Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm at Vienna main station, or Wien Hbf, and I'm going to be travelling with the Austrian Railways ÖBB Nightjet train all the way down to Milano, Porta, Garibaldi in Italy. For this journey I booked out a deluxe room, so I'm really looking forward to getting the full experience on board Nightjet. Let's go!
Good evening from the modern main station here in Austria's capital, Vienna. This station first opened in 2012 to replace multiple older stations in the city, and is everything you could possibly want out of a major railway hub. Before we even go inside, you'll notice the station is very well connected to the city's local transport service, including frequent commuter trains through the centre. Anyway, let's head inside this major station. Tucked away inside the station's main entrance, look out for the Markuslöwe. This is the symbol of Venice, Italy, which served to mark the introduction of direct trains from Vienna to Venice, over many of the same tracks we'll be travelling on tonight. Wien Hbf has a massive selection of shops and eateries, as well as a well-sized ticket office of course. These shops can be found beneath the tracks on two separate levels, while most food options are found in the main concourse area. This also continues downstairs, where you can find a few popular chains. The station is very colourful too. Okay, whilst most of the building is grey and white, there's an endless variety of trains from different countries and companies on display. You can even see a daily train all the way to Kiev in Ukraine, taking 24 hours. What a journey! I count a total of 13 operators at this station. Leave a comment if you can name them all. Time to find my ride for tonight on the departure board. This station is very busy, so it might not show up until relatively close to departure. My train today will be Nightjet 233 to Rome and Milan. It's worth mentioning that passengers with tickets in the sleeper car normally get access to the lounge, but this was unavailable at the time of recording. So instead, I decided to head over to platform 8 and await my train. A beautiful sunset was on offer this March evening, and I just love how it beams right through the centre of the station's platform area. Around half an hour before departure, the train reverses in from Matzleinsdorf depot. The train is formed of 9 carriages today. Of these, only 4 will actually reach Milan. The remaining 5 will be split off at Villach in southern Austria, where they will then head to Rome. This will happen in the middle of the night, so you won't even notice. I'm travelling in the sleeping car today, but first, let's have a look around the rest of the accommodation on offer. The locomotive for the first section of the trip will be one of these powerful Taurus electric locomotives. This is just one of nearly 400 of this type built for ÖBB, which can be found in service all over Austria and abroad. As for onboard accommodation, first up is the seating carriage, which is the cheapest way to travel on the Nightjet. Travelling in a seat overnight is a bit of a false economy. Sure, you save money, but it also costs you the next day while you try to recover. Instead, I'd recommend getting a couchette, where you'll share a lockable compartment with a few fellow travellers. I've done this a few times before, and it's a perfectly comfortable way to travel. But today I've reserved one of the private sleeper compartments, the most luxurious way to travel. So let's get on board and find my room for tonight. These carriages have 12 rooms, each sleeping up to 3 adults. I'll be travelling in compartment 10, which is one of the deluxe suites. These are generally the same as a regular room, but with one big difference that we'll check out later tonight. While I sit and wait for departure into the sunset, let's take a look at today's route. Today we'll be heading south from Vienna, eventually running across the world-famous Semmeringbahn, before crossing through the Alps into Italy. From here we'll run west across the top of the country into Milan. The journey is scheduled to take 12 hours and 47 minutes to cover 864 kilometres or about 537 miles. We leave Wien Hauptbahnhof on time at 19:23. Our epic journey through the night begins as we head into the Viennese sunset, leaving behind the bright lights of this modern transport hub. I've said this before, but I love the contrast on display here. The classic buildings of Vienna really stand out compared to the recently built railway infrastructure. Only a few minutes after setting off, we come to a halt at our first station. This is Wien Meidling. The station here served as one of the main stations in the capital city, whilst construction works took place at the present Wien Hauptbahnhof. Nowadays, the station remains as one of the capital's busiest hubs, and sees most trains on the route make a stop. After departure from Wien Meidling, all passengers are welcomed on board by the automated announcement system.
Dear passengers, a very warm welcome to your Nightjet service to Milan via Klagenfurt and Verona.
But don't worry, this doesn't play all through the night. Anyway, as it's already getting dark, let's take this time to look around the room. The room is equipped with 2 locking mechanisms, which provide extra security and peace of mind during the night. Your personal key can be found above the door handle when you enter the room. Make sure you don't lose this though, as it's needed whenever you want to get back in. These deluxe rooms are actually fairly spacious as far as sleeper trains go. You'll find plenty of room for luggage up above the wall and corridor, while your heaviest items can remain on the floor. By day, each compartment is set up in seating mode. This features 3 seats, one for each bed in the room. This offers a comfortable way to travel, but of course this isn't the main focus of a sleeper train. We'll get to that later. When you board the train, a complimentary bottle of Zürnlein sparkling wine will be waiting for you on the table, alongside a bottle of water and a few other goodies. The goodie bag features plenty of useful accessories for a good night of travel. This includes some disposable sleepers, as well as a hand towel. There's another bottle of water, resulting in a total of 2 per passenger, and a set of earplugs, one for each ear. Lastly, there's a couple of small healthy snacks. After around half an hour of travel, we arrive at Wiener Neustadt. Don't be confused by the name though, we're not still in the city of Vienna. Wiener Neustadt actually translates as New Town in the region of Vienna, and is even Austria's 11th largest city. Now let's take a look at the onboard food. Whilst you get a few limited snacks included, anything more substantial is available at an additional charge. There's a good selection on offer here, and to be honest, the prices are fairly reasonable, for on a train at least. I decided to get a sandwich and a drink for the promotional price of €5.90. Now I really like how they do breakfast on the Nightjet. You simply fill in the breakfast card after boarding, and it's brought to your room in the morning. 6 items are included with your ticket from this expansive list of typical continental breakfast items. There are also 2 special options for dietary needs. Anyway, as we leave Porta and the Moor at around 9:30, I think it's time to get ready for bed. The carriage attendant will help you to convert the room into sleeping mode by way of folding down the seats to make way for the bunks. The beds on the Nightjet are comfortable, with a well-padded and reasonably sized mattress making for a good night of sleep. Full bedding is of course provided, with a pleasant duvet and a soft, comfy pillow. The higher bunks come with a net to prevent you from accidentally rolling out of bed in the middle of the night. Definitely a good feature, as it's quite high up. You'll find the lighting control above the carriage door, one for the room's main light, as well as one for the dim night light. By the light controls, you'll also find the individual temperature control for the room. You'll also see a volume control for the onboard announcements, but I find these almost never work on trains. If you need more light during the night, then each bed has an individual reading light. These also provide a really cozy atmosphere, which is of course helped by the relaxing ambient noise of the train working its way south. One aspect I found disappointing on the Nightjet is the provision of power sockets. Just one of these European style sockets can be found in the room, right next to the door. Now on to what really makes these deluxe rooms special. They each contain a private bathroom with shower. We'll have a proper look at this in the morning, but it is worth noting that there's another power socket in here. It's intended for razors, but it worked fine for charging my phone. This station is Knittelfeld, and at this point I think it's time to hop into bed. I awoke briefly in the Italian city of Padova, before finally waking up properly at around 6 AM, with about 8 hours of decent sleep behind me. We're passing through Rovato station now, one of the commuter stations here in the region of Lombardia. By my estimates, this puts us at around 1 hour away from Milan. Looking north in the morning, you can get views of the Alps, the very same mountain range that we spent the night crossing. Anyway, let's take a look at that shower before breakfast. As I mentioned last night, there's a power socket in here that you can use to power a razor. There's also this dial, which didn't seem to do anything. Hand soap, as well as shampoo and body wash, are provided and kept on a shelf. I've not seen this before, but it's quite clever. The sink in here doesn't actually have a tap. Instead, you just use the shower head to get water. The shower took a bit of time to get going, but once it did, I found this to be highly refreshing, with good pressure and temperature. Unlike some other night trains, towels are provided, and found on a rack on the door. Lastly, there's a modern and clean vacuum toilet in here too. If you're travelling in one of these standard compartments without an ensuite, then you can still find a communal shower and toilet facility at one end of the carriage. As we pass through the station of Treviglio, breakfast is served. I chose a cup of hot chocolate, orange juice, 2 bread rolls, butter, cheese, and a yogurt. A good start to the day. We are now in the city of Milan, running a few minutes early. Due to this, we wait at a commuter station for about 20 minutes, while our platform is freed up at Milano Porta Garibaldi station. So now on to how much this trip cost. For this trip, I booked a double deluxe room, as I was travelling with someone else, at a cost of €254.80. By no means is this the cheapest way to travel between these two cities, but for value I think you'll struggle to go wrong here. This is accommodation in a private room, as well as a 12-hour train journey for two, and considering the high standards of comfort and service on board, this was a great experience on Nightjet. For overall quality, I think this is Europe's best sleeper train, excluding luxury private tours of course, and I highly recommend you give it a go should you have a chance. Our arrival into Milan is towards the end of rush hour, so there's plenty of regular commuter traffic to fit in between. The train terminates in Milano Porta Garibaldi, which is the city's main station for commuter traffic and second busiest overall. We end up arriving just 4 minutes late at 08:14. So that was my experience on Nightjet, Europe's best sleeper train. As always, let me know what you thought of the Nightjet service in the comments section, and for a special look at the new upgraded interior of Nightjet, then click up here now.